My name's Sean and I'm going to be showing you how to square a block on the mill. Squaring a block is the first step in a lot of machining processes, and the purpose of it is so your block will sit flat in the vise without a taper, because if your block was tapered and you went to machine it, you could zero it on the shorter end, the smaller end, and you could run your tool into the taller part and damage your tools. So what you're going to need for this is a dead blow, a file, a square, an end mill, and a face mill, and a set of parallels. First thing you're going to want to get is parallels. I'm using an 1 3/8 parallels, but when you get your parallels, you want to have them tall enough so your part will stick out over the above the vise enough to machine it. So then you put your parallels in your vise and you grab your part and put it on top of the parallels. And you tighten your vise and you grab your dead blow. You want to hit your part down so your parallels won't slide under your part. After you have that done, I'm going to explain before I machine it so you can hear me. But you want to start your mill at around 400 to 500 RPM in low range. You can figure out the RPM using a RPM calculation equation. So after I start the machine, I'm going to raise my table up until my face mill just touches my part, and then move your table so the face mill is not touching your part, and raise your table up. I like to go around 10 thousandths, but you want to get enough so you can clean up the whole face that you're machining. You want to start it with your face mill above your part. Raise your table up around 10 thousandths, and you just take a pass across. Doesn't clean up the whole face, you just gotta take more off. After you clean up your first face, you're going to take your part out and file all the burrs off. If you don't file the burrs off, your part would sit on the burrs and it wouldn't be flat, so it would machine it at like an angle, so your part wouldn't be square. After you have all the burrs off, what you'd normally do is flip the part over and do the other first dimension side, but I already did it to save on time. So next you're going to want to do your second dimension sides. So I'm going to take my parallels out, but if your part's not big enough, To sit without parallels, you'd have to get smaller ones, so it would hold it above the vise. You want to make sure there's no chips in here, because if it's sitting on chips, then it won't be flat and it won't come out square. So you sit your part in. You want to do pretty much the same thing. Bring your table up until the face mill just touches, and then back it off and raise your table about 10 thousandths, and then take a pass until the face is cleaned up. Face, you can take more off. Now your second dimension side should be done. You want to file all your burrs off again. And then you normally take your part and flip it and do the other side, but I already did the other side to save time. Next, what you're going to do is take your face mill out and put your end mill in. And then you're going to put your parallels back in, making sure there's no chips in the vise. And you want to set your part in so one edge of it is hanging out over the edge of the vise enough to machine it. You don't want to have it too far out because it could fall out or something. You want to just hit it down until your parallels won't move. And when you end mill, you want to have your part more towards the top of the end mill, because your end mill could bend or flex, and then you won't have a square side. And then after you turn the machine on, you bring the end mill over until, or you bring your table toward the end mill until it just touches. And then I like to move it around 10 thousandths just to clean up the side. your part into the rotation of the cutter, that's called conventional milling. If you feed your part with the rotation of the cutter, it's called climb milling. And your end mill wants to climb on top of the part. It could pull your part out of the vise if it's not tight enough. So conventional milling is better for manual machining. After you clean off the side, I'm going to take it out and file all the burrs off. After you have all the burrs off, you flip your part and end mill the other side. I already did it to save on time. And that's how you square a block on the mill. The purpose of squaring a block is so there's no taper when you go to machine it. You could break your tools. And first thing you do is your first dimension sides. You face mill your first dimension sides. Then you face mill your second dimension sides. And then you end mill your third dimension sides. Are there any questions?